Hey, everybody, it's Congressman Jamie Raskin coming out to all my friends in Maryland's beautiful 8th Congressional District and across Maryland and across the United States now as everybody tunes in for my favorite time of the week, Local Hero, and we get to salute the people that make life in our community so rich and so special. My local hero this Friday, April the 26th, is Justine Wood, and we're honoring her as part of National Volunteer Appreciation Week. Justine has been working part-time and volunteering at EveryMind for the past 3 years, amassing more than 600 hours of volunteer service. She takes calls from the 988 National Suicide and Crisis Lifeline through this community-based nonprofit. In the fall, she will be pursuing her master's degree at Loyola University in Maryland to study clinical mental health counseling. She originally wanted to be a high school teacher because she loves working with teenagers, but on her journey has realized she prefers talking one-on-one with people to help them, which is why the Lifeline provides such an incredible opportunity for her. People from all walks of life call in and ask for help, making it truly one of the most diverse places that she's ever been or worked through. Justine says that we all either have thoughts of suicide or know someone who has had thoughts of suicide, which is why it's okay for everybody to talk about it, and it's important for us to do so. Justine Wood, thank you for your extraordinary devotion to our community and all of the great work you do on mental and emotional health, and we salute you as our local hero this week.
Thank you. Thank you. No problem.
And you grew up in Bethesda, and you served a lot of people in our community. I'm moved by what you have to say about the importance of talking about mental health and the idea that maybe the old school stigma around mental health has begun to fall away because the problems are so pervasive in our society. Tell me if you think that's right.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds right. I mean, when I was in high school myself about like 10 to 15 years ago, and I would have never thought to tell people that I was struggling. And I thought that would that would bring them down or make things worse or and I was also so good at just like being like kind of a happy girl. So in my personal life, but yeah, I see that, across the country too.
Yeah. So in the work that you do volunteering with EveryMind, is it limited to working the crisis and suicide lifeline, the 988 line, or do you do other kinds of work through EveryMind as well?
So I answer calls from that line, and then there's also the Montgomery County hotline. So that's more just like supportive listening. If you were in crisis, you could call it, but a lot of people just call just like to talk, or if they're going through something difficult but not quite a crisis. And then we also take calls from the homeless information line. So I really love that line because if you see somebody who's homeless, you can call in and then we'll put in a report and then somebody can go visit them to try to give them services.
So you're trained in a lot of different ways to respond to different kinds of problems, as I'm hearing you talk.
Yeah, in a way. Yeah, but all of them, like, yeah, it's just like asking, okay, what brought you to calling in today? What's going on for you today? And I mean, my main goal is to like that they're feeling more comforted by the end of the conversation or have like sort of a plan of what their next step could be.
I see. And in some cases, if you feel it's more of an emergency, then what do you do with the call at that point?
Yeah, so it all depends on like the how imminent the emergency is. Like, so we use our judgment to. So if somebody, I mean, yeah, it really depends. It like we want to de-escalate the person. I mean, so especially like, and I will say most of our calls are not an emergency. Most of them are not like quick action needs to be taken. Because it's great that the person is calling. Like if someone is calling the 988 line, it at least means that part of them wants to live and they're ambivalent. And so yeah, but we can connect them to different like medical services if that is what would saved their life.
Right, right. Okay, so you play a useful function in even just publicizing to people about 988. If you
Hmm.
feel you're in a crisis or you just need somebody to talk to, you're trying to figure out the resources available for emotional and mental health problems, it's a great way to connect.
Hmm.
So after having spent hundreds of hours now volunteering, connecting with people, steering people in the right direction, comforting them, consoling them, you've decided that you are going to go back to school to
Hmm.
study clinical mental health.
Yeah.
Um, and you're going to get your master's at Loyola of Maryland. What kind of career do you anticipate leading out of that program?
That's a good question. Um, I'm definitely comfortable working with teenagers, and like at the school that I in my day job, I work at a school, and we have therapists at the school. So that's my something I'm definitely interested in, because I like that you're just like you're in the middle of the environment, you're in the middle of the community, and you're helping kids also navigate the school and get, but we'll see. I'm not sure. I want to explore.
Yeah. All right. Well, I've noticed that there are obviously a lot of young people who are struggling with emotional and mental health issues. The Surgeon General has declared it a nationwide crisis in
Hmm.
emotional and mental health among the young in America today. And there are a lot of different possible contributing causes, whether it's social media or climate change or gun violence or just the general change in the public temper and mood and the poorly behaved people in public life and politics and so on. So there's a lot of things going on, but regardless of what the causes are,
Hmm.
um, do you recommend to other people that they make the same kind of commitment that you have made? And what about people who just say there's no way I could actually handle that? That's just way too serious, too heavy.
You meaning, do I recommend other people become crisis hotline counselors?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of people could do it. You just have to you have to practice being calm. And so, and like just have, and you can learn this too, but like have the skills to be calm, like sort of regardless of what you're hearing. Um, but so I think that's the most nerve-wracking thing is like being but in terms of like there's so many people with the ability to empathize, and I think who could speak to people well. I mean, there's so many great teachers who I see at school, and um I think, yeah, I think a lot of people, and you could try it out, because you go through a training and you have to pass the training. So if you didn't pass it, then you know it's not for you. But
Yeah.
yeah, I would say if you're interested, definitely look into it. Evermind is a local nonprofit in Montgomery County, so we provide various services for Montgomery County residents. We do therapy. We have the hotline, a lot of like outreach. There's a lot of like fun programs that help people with their mental well-being.
Everymind is a wonderful group that really empowers young people to go out and help young people,
Hmm.
and to get everybody to focus on the absolute foundational, fundamental importance of mental and emotional health. And
Hmm.
just like you wouldn't neglect your physical health, you can't neglect your emotional or your mental health.
Exactly. I
Well,
love that.
look, Justine, we salute you on National Volunteer Appreciation Week and thank you for being our local hero.
Thank you. Thank you so much.